Welcome to Lagniappe Live, the business spotlight, a space where bold women are seen, real stories are honored, and business is built with purpose. Hosted by Helena Richardson, founder and CEO of HRichnetworks, former NASA IT specialist, digital strategist, and community builder. From New Orleans roots to national impact, Helena brings together technology, storytelling, and service, creating platforms where women lead boldly and communities grow stronger. This is where journeys are shared, voices are amplified, and legacy is built together. I'm so glad you're here. Let's introduce today's guest.
Morgan Carey is a mission driven brand entrepreneur and advocate for empowerment who thrives on sharing skills and knowledge to create impactful solutions for professionals, especially women and organizations. As the founder and CEO of Morgan Carey Consulting Solutions, she specializes in people development, life and leadership coaching. Morgan's approach to developing people is both inspirational and transformational, empowering them to grow with confidence, lead with joy, and create lasting change for themselves, their organizations, and communities. Her value proposition is simple yet powerful. Morgan empowers the leader in you. She helps high achieving women design a life of joy so they can lead, live, and love well without burning out. Her personal brand, Morgan in Motion, inspires others to always celebrate themselves and lead with joy. After her battle with breast cancer, Morgan embraces strength and freedom while continuously challenging the negative narratives of life and leadership. Let's give a warm Lanyap Live welcome to Morgan Carey. Hi, Morgan. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Wonderful. So I'm trying to see where are you? Us? I don't see us. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna need a director in the back.
You need a technology person. It's all right. We here. We are here, and that's what counts.
This is not the screen I want to see.
Can you see me?
I cannot.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I do see us over here. Oh, there we are. Okay, it was delayed. There we go.
Okay. All right.
All right. Okay. Technology. Love it. Love it. Love it. But thank you, Morgan, so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to have you here. Your work is so powerful, especially how you connect with joy, with leadership, because,
Yeah.
when we live and the things that happen in our life that it truly shape us. And your story is one that I think is a something that help us to move forward. So let's start here. What inspired you to step into this work as joy expert, and how did that path unfold for you?
Well, let me just say that my story, well, my business evolved or was born out of my own story. I've always been a high performer, and like the intro said, I help high achieving women. I've always been a high performer, always um, accomplishing things, going after the next thing. I kind of was my mom and dad, like they're always pushing us, do this, you do that, you do that. So it resonated and it worked. And so in my career and showing up for others, I'm super high achieving. But what I begin to notice was that every time like the challenges of life would come, the hardships come, and they do come, right?
Absolutely.
I would feel like I was getting broken all the way down and always building myself back up, broken down, building myself back up. And I used to do it, I'm good at it, but then I started feeling like, why do I feel like I'm starting from scratch?
Mhm.
And so my own story, I'm a breast cancer survivor. I've lived through loss. I've lost my parents. I have lost relationships like many of us. Many of us go through life challenges. And oftentimes I hear women come to me, and my own experience indicated, how can I hold on to joy even
Mm.
in the times of hardship and heartache and pain and all of those things? So I decided I was going to learn to cultivate and keep joy, right? And then show other people how to do it too.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
I think about my own journey and what I've gone through, and, it kind of make me tear up because, you know, um, our journey really become our foundation
Yes.
for our purpose, right? And that's something so many women can relate to when
Yeah.
they're going through something and then turning it into something impactful. And I
Yeah.
love that. And we always say it's resilience, but it is impactful, and we have to keep going, keep moving. And I love the part of joy, man, because I
Yeah.
love smiling. I love
Me too. I love to laugh. I love to laugh.
ooh,
I love to dance. I
oh
love to just have fun.
yes. We need to get together and
Yes.
because I love the same thing. I'm a jokester. People don't realize that, but I am.
Mhm.
But it's when we going through something, I mean, we don't need to stay there, right?
We don't need to stay there. We need to be able to move forward, right? I was at my job yesterday, and just yesterday someone told me, Morgan, you bring like this seriousness to the room, right? So people think depending on when you see me, they think I'm really serious. But
Mhm.
I am a person that I am serious, I'm clear, but I really love to laugh. I love to have fun. I love to relax and kind of let my hair down and be authentic in the
Yes,
moment as well.
love it, love it, love it. So you often speak about how the way we live influences how we lead.
Mhm.
What does that mean in practical terms for professionals and entrepreneurs?
It means learning how to lead from a place of joy from the inside out,
Mm,
right? A lot of times we deal with like surface level elements. We learn how to show up in the room, we learn how to perform, we learn what to say, how to speak, how to show up right. But all of that is really superficial.
mm,
Right. And so I think that it's a place for it and it's necessary. You need to learn those things. But I think sometimes we're missing this foundational internal guide that helps us show up even better and be even more productive. And I think that's what I'm talking about when I talk about joy leading from a place of joy from the inside out.
mhm.
Hmm.
That is such a strong connection. I love how you made it practical
Yeah.
because lots of people don't realize that how they are managing themselves and how they show up as a leader, right? And we really have to be mindful of those things. And I really thank you for being able to share that.
Yeah.
So, um, through your joy framework, notice
Hmm.
own yourself and yield to to practice.
Uh-huh.
How can someone begin cultivating great awareness and accountability in their life and leadership?
Yeah. Yeah. I developed the joy method from this idea of keeping joy. When I was younger, my aunt used to say things like whenever there was a great happening or just an event or something that would happen to make us feel good, high positive emotion. She would have this thing where she would say, "I wish I could just bottle up this feeling and take it with me always," right? And I never said it out loud, but I often wonder, but why can't we? And over the years, that question would just live in my mind. Why can't we? Because I noticed that we don't keep the joy, that we have it for a moment, something brings the joy, and then we kind of lose it. We get lost in the mundane, or a crisis comes and we just kind of lose the joy. So I developed this framework around keeping joy. And the method is by which we do that. And it spells out joy as an acronym. Just notice,
Mhm.
own yourself, and yield to practice. The just notice is building the awareness, you
Mhm.
know, building the awareness of how you show up, how other people show up in your world, doing the work on yourself to realize how to do that. Just notice how you show up, your surroundings, and how other people show up for you. And then owning yourself is the accountability piece, right? Because
Mhm.
without the accountability, you can't learn. And without the learning, you can't grow, right?
Mhm.
So you have to own yourself. One of the most mature things we can do for ourselves is own everything. Own the good, the bad, the ugly. And own the challenges without complaint, and then own the celebrations with confidence.
Mhm.
Try to do those things, own yourself, and then you move on to yield to practice, because joy is a skill. And like with any other skill, you have to hone it. You have to practice it, right? If you want to get good at something, you practice it. We think of joy as like this just like a tangible thing. Something happens and now I'm happy. I buy the car and now I'm happy. I have a baby and I'm excited. I get married and oh, it's so joyful. And that is all true. All of those
Mhm.
things are joyful and happy occasions. But it's like after the happening, what do you do next? Because
Mhm.
after you have the baby, now it's mundane. No more baby shower, no more gender reveal, no more like, ooh, rubbing on your belly. It's over. Baby's here. It's time to raise babies. So you get into the day to day. Same thing with the marriage. You plan the wedding, you have a big wedding, woo, great time. But now you got to be married,
Yeah.
right? And you get the job. Now you got to perform on the job. It's the same thing with every happening, no matter what the happening is, right? But you have to get up every single day and practice staying in a state of joy and not just waiting for the next thing to bring you joy. And how you do that is you develop a way to give yourself joy every single day. My method and my proposition is that you have to take care of yourself first. You
Mhm.
have to feel yourself first every day. So and that's sometimes, not once a week, not at the spa, not at the gym every other week or so. You fill yourself, you fill your cup every day before you go out and put your day together, before the world starts tugging on you. You wake up, you pray, you say your affirmations, you meditate on the good things, and you move your body intentionally. That's my practice.
Mhm.
And some people say, well, Morgan, I don't have all that time. I got kids. I got stuff to do. I got to prepare for work. I got to get to work. And what I say to that is it doesn't have to take long. Sometimes mine is 15 minutes. Sometimes it's 30 if I have a lot of time. On the weekend, it may take me 2 hours if I don't have anywhere to be to do
Mhm.
my joy practice. And some days I got to cut it down to 5 minutes. But I'm going to give myself something before I
Yes.
start giving it to everybody else. And that's how you practice joy.
Yes. I love how it can be simple and actionable at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Like you say, noticing, owning, and then practicing.
Yeah.
Um, it really takes something that could feel overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
Make it sometimes where people can actually apply it to every day. And I
Yeah.
love those steps. And three letters, right? Joy.
Joy. 3 letters, 3 steps.
Three steps. That is so amazing, and I love it. I remember I was at I went to visit my daughter, and my sister-in-law told my husband, does she get up like this every day? Because I get up laughing, and I'm joking, he was like, yeah. I'm like, why not?
Yeah, why
That's how
not?
we start our day, right? And
What
you simple steps that
exactly?
you just talked about, getting up with, what did you say?
You get up with you have your joy. The steps that I talked about in the yield to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Mine are wake. No, yes, mine are wake, pray. And so when you pray though, you don't ask for anything. You pray with gratitude, right? Because when we ask for things, it puts our brain in a state of lack. Because if you're asking, it means you feel like you don't have it. right? So it makes you think about what you don't have. Now there's a place for those prayers. I'm not saying never ask. You should ask, right? But when you're doing your joy practice and you wake up in the morning, that's not the time to ask. It's the time to be grateful for what you already have, right? And once you have all those good feelings of gratitude, now you're going to affirm yourself. I say things to myself every day. I say them and I write them. Even if it's the same thing. I am wonderful. I am beautiful. I am smart. I am intelligent. I radiate joy and positivity, and the right people are attracted to my authentic self. Whatever I want to remind myself of, I say it. Whatever comes to mind, I write it down, I say it. Then after I affirm, I read. I read something. I'm a self-help junkie, right? So I got a library full of, I'm my daddy's daughter. My father was a self-help book junkie, and so
Mhm.
am I. I started collecting those books, but I read them, and so whatever book I'm reading, sometimes it's a Bible.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's the Bible and the book if I got time. Sometimes it's one book, sometimes it's three. I read something, and some people say, "Well, Morgan, I can't read self-help books, right?" I had a girl tell me I don't like self-help books. I said, "Okay, don't read your romance novels in the morning. That's not you read that a little bit later. What you're gonna read is your affirmations. If
Yes.
you're not a self-help book person, go back and read the affirmations that you wrote down. Just read them. Just read them. Then you move on from there. And after you read, you meditate on all the good stuff you just did. Your prayer, your affirmations, the fact that you woke up. I love the wake part of the routine because we don't have any control over waking up.
Mm-mm.
So when we wake up, it's like, oh boy, thank you. What
Look at
Dorinda
another
Clark Cole
day,
say?
right?
I got a reason. She said, I
That's
got a
right.
reason to praise the Lord. And
Woo.
so
Yes.
after you do that, after you wake, pray, affirm, read, meditate on all those good things, and then the last step is to move. You're gonna move, and you're gonna move intentionally, whether it's dynamic stretching, it doesn't have to be really rigorous. It doesn't have to be hard, but I do strength training. I run sometimes, and sometimes I just stretch. But it
Mm.
has to be intentional movement. And I do all of this before I go out and put my day together. And that's for me. So
Yeah.
by the time I go out, before the news gets to me, people complaining, bad attitudes, before any of that touches me, I've already filled my cup. That's the intention.
Yeah. And you know what, sister? It shows because
Yeah,
you're beautiful and you are glowing.
I
You
appreciate
are
that. Thank you so
glowing.
much.
Yes, yes. So,
Thank
you kind of went over uh question number 4 that I was going to ask about, when people are overwhelmed and just feel disconnected in their work,
you. Hmm.
what are some of the small but powerful shifts that people can make to reconnect with purpose and joy? But you went over that, but if you want to expound that, that's perfectly fine with me because I love what you're saying, and it resonates so well with not just what I do and what we practice, and even with our grandchildren,
Hmm.
but the fact that how you make it so plain, like you say, we don't have to have a whole scenario of things that I don't know. I think maybe our society have us doing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
you can
you
help me
got
with
it.
that one.
That's it. That's it. This societal norms, societal pressure, even, and it doesn't have to be. We sometimes we think about society, we think about this big thing because there's so many people and so many things in the world. Sometimes our society is just as big as our circle. It's just the
Mm,
circle, and that is usually the thing that's impacting us the most,
mm,
right? The people
mm,
you see every day, you talk to every day, the office you go into every day, and we really don't know how much that stuff is impacting us until we really take some time and be intentional about what we are letting in, what we're
mm.
receiving. So I think that's also another way to be able to help yourself. I listen to this motivational speaker so much. He's gone now, but his name is Jim Rohn, and he
Oh,
gives
yeah.
these speeches, and one of the speeches he says, stand guard at the door of your mind. He says that's something that he learned in his development, and that
Right.
always sticks out to me in the speech because it's so true. Before you go out into the day, you have to make up your mind that I'm gonna decide what I let in. I'm gonna decide what TV shows I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna decide what conversations I'm gonna be a part of. And if it's not good, I gotta get out of there. I gotta stop watching that show. I gotta stop letting that in. I gotta stop engaging in that conversation because whether you think so or not, it is affecting how you are operating in your world. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that because, we not just the what we're looking at, listening to, but our community. or the connections. Sometimes we have a group or something that we want to stay in, but that group may not be fitting for
Yeah.
us. So what do you need to do? They may be totally different from, because I was at a point where I could never say no, right?
Hmm.
And so I may be in an area where I don't need to be, right? So I love what you're saying, because we need to, even some family, right? We have to.
It's some family sometimes. And that's the part we don't expect. When we have these kinds of conversations, they're kind of broad, right? People listen to people like me and you and talk and give the advice, and they're never really thinking that the person they might gotta walk away from is
Mm.
one of the closest people to them. So when it shows up, they're a little bit shocked, like, oh Lord, I didn't know I was gonna have to walk away from him. And I said him on purpose.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Oh, thank you.
Because
Thank you for
sometimes it's the
sharing
person
that
we want
part.
to be with the most.
Hmm.
know? Yeah.
Say that again, because
Yeah, sometimes the person we want to be with the most, but it's not working. It's not working for you. Maybe entering things into your mental factory that you need to let go of so you can grow and succeed. And success is a large term because I'm not just talking about money. Money is a part of it. We all want to make money. We all want to get things. But success is also being able to wake up every day and love the world you wake up in, your world.
yes,
Know
yes.
your world.
Woo! You giving some great nuggets. Look, I want to ask you most of these questions, because I think it's imperative that we, as a people, but as women, um, learn to come together, and when we sit down at the table, right, it
Hmm.
can help us to get through a lot of what you're talking about and what your program does. So let's go, take it to another narrative here: leadership challenges.
Yeah.
You work with organizations and individuals on leadership development and culture, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest leadership challenges you see today?
Ooh, let's see. Some of the biggest leadership challenges I see. You know, a lot of times leaders are not taught to be leaders. They're really good at their subject matter. They're good at the content, what I call the content of their job, right? And so they get moved up. And next thing you know, they're managing people,
Mm,
okay? But they've never developed the ability to manage people. They're really good at whatever they do. Let's say they're a mortgage processor, right? They're really good at processing mortgages. So next thing you know, they're a team leader of the processing team. And then they're really good at leading the team, processing the mortgages. So next thing you know, they're the manager of the entire group, right? And they just keep going up, and then they're a director. But there was never any real development on people leadership. The development was on mortgage processing. So you're really good at this, you're really fast, we don't have problems, the customers like you, but your team is a mess. Your
mm,
team is a mess. People don't like coming to work for you. The turnover on your team is a little bit high, and you aren't even all that happy as the leader because we haven't really learned to cultivate our leaders into true leaders, you know. And in order to do that, you have to develop yourself from the inside out. You have to develop yourself as a person so you can show up at work as a person that knows how to develop other people because that's why people like to stay with you.
mm.
That's why people will respect you. And when you got people who want to stay on your team and want and respect you, then they put out better work, and the environment is better. And I think this is where a lot of organizations get it wrong is that they solely focus on the product. And that's important. The product is important. The output is important, but they're forgetting the people.
Mm.
And then without the people, you got nothing. You got nothing. So this practice of developing joy and cultivating joy, it's wonderful and I love it because it applies in two of the most important areas of our life, which is at home in our personal life
Mhm.
and at work. Because if I can cultivate that joy, you know how they say, leave it at the door at work. This culture of like you don't bring your work, your home to work, and you don't
Yeah.
take your work home. That's not real. And that is definitely not real in 2026, where we are always working, where work can always contact us because of phones, because of email, because of computer, all the technology. You can get contacted all the time. And which
Mhm.
means a lot of us are, depending on the job you have, you're working all the time. So this idea that you don't take work home, you don't take home to work, it's antiquated. And we got to start developing something different, right? And that's where the joy practice comes in. Because you do take home to work, you got to learn to be joyful at home. So the same person that's going to work is the joyful person that was at home. And
Wow,
that's
keep
what
it
you
real.
show. And that's how you show up and you present that to your team, you know? And now they like being around you. You can think better as well. You process better. And when you process better, you lead better. It's all
Mm,
connected.
yes. Keep it real. Keep it real. We are seeing this, not like you say, home across industries everywhere. So, man, thank you for keeping
Yeah.
it real. Um, so let's take it here of just where to begin. Help us. For some who wants to lead more intentionally,
Mhm.
whether in business, community, or family, where should we begin? Morgan, where help us, please?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's going to start with some awareness.
Mm,
One of the biggest challenges I see people have is they are unaware of how they are even showing up in the world, right? And the reason why they're unaware is because they haven't defined the game that they're playing. They're playing this game that they think they're supposed to play, right? That society tells them they're supposed to play. That societal norms and conditioning has told them that they're supposed to play. And what happens when you don't know what game you're playing, you can't set your objective,
mm,
cannot set your objective. So, and when your objective isn't set, you're looking at everybody else. Your eyes on everybody paper. When we were in elementary school, we learned keep your eyes on your own paper. Worry about yourself. We learned that as kids, but even as we become adults, we lost the lesson. We don't worry about ourselves. We worry
mm,
about everybody else. What she doing? What he got? If they married? If they got a kid? What job they got? How much money they make? Meanwhile, we want to make more money. We want to have baby. We want to, grow in life. We want to do all these things, but we're spending all this time focusing on everybody else. And when you are focused on everybody else that way, you are draining the joy out of yourself
mm,
because you're comparing yourself. And their journey is not your journey. Recently I saw a video on social media, and it was this mom. She was recording her daughter, right? So the focus was the daughter, but it was a race. So there's like 10, I don't know if you've seen this video, but I saw it on Instagram. And there's like 10 kids racing, I believe, and it's all there outside, and they had lanes, like they had place these things to create lanes. And
mm,
all of these kids are in the lane. This little girl is fast. And when it's time to go, she takes off. Well, about 2 to 3 lanes over, there's this little boy, and he notices her immediately taking off and getting in front of everybody. And what he does is he crosses 2 or 3 lanes. That she is focused. She is got her objective is the end. Okay. And she just is going, never not even noticing the other people. He notices her. He crosses 2 or 3 lanes just to come over to her to put his hand in front of her to stop. And do
mm,
you know what happened to him? He fell down. He
mm,
fell down and he lost the entire race. The people he was in front of, he was so worried about her. The people he was in front of, they passed him because he was on the ground. And she won.
mm,
The only time she looked away from her objective was when he touched her. She took a little glance and just, I mean, she never stopped. She never stopped because her eye was on the objective. So if
mm,
I could say something to help people is for them to define the game that they're playing, keep their eye on the objective and stay in your lane.
mm,
Because when you do the opposite of those things, you lose. You lose. And sometimes we don't even know we're losing until we look up because we're not aware, we're not noticing. And we're like, all the things that I wanted to achieve, everything that I was trying to get, and the joy and the good feeling that I was after, I still don't have it.
mm,
And that's probably because you didn't define the game you were playing. Your eye was not on your objective. You haven't even identified your true objective.
mm, mm.
And you in somebody else's lane.
Yes. Look, I that's one thing I do. I stay in my lane. Like I
Yes.
told you in the beginning, the Zoom be kicking my butt here. All I'm supposed to do is click a button, right? But it's the setting up and moving around the screen and so
Yeah.
forth. So, do you have any upcoming program events or initiatives that you are really excited about that you'd like to share with the audience?
Well, really, I'm really excited about my evolving body of work. I don't know if you could tell in my tone that I love
Oh
talking about
yeah.
this stuff.
Yes.
I love learning more about it. The more I learn, the more I have to share. I love developing myself and other people. So I'm just really looking forward to continuing the one-on-one coaching, getting into more group coaching and doing more training and development for larger organizations. Every day I work with organizations to help cultivate their leaders and individuals who want to move into leadership, but also individuals that just want to be better at the work that they're doing and show up better at work. This my the cultivating has really started with my book. I have a book, ebook that is called Lead with Joy, Transforming Life and Leadership from the Inside Out. And if you haven't read it, go on and read it. We can, get the link to people. It's 13 pages.
Mm,
It's a short guide manual that is full of stories, quotes, and ideas that talk about, the elements that go into building that joy and leading from that place of joy. And I love it because it's great it touches on things like professionalism, but it also touches on personal. So it works for
mm,
any high achieving woman, any woman that's trying to build things, and it works for the men too. So,
mm.
my market is high achieving women, but this proposition, this process, it works for everybody. It's a people process.
Love it, love it. I'm taking my notes. Um, I know we have inside of our, two things I want you to, one, what is one message about joy, leadership, or personal growth that you hope every professional remembers? And then two, before we close, let us know how we can contact you, whatever, this is your time just to tell us who you are, what you want to do, how we can get in contact with phone number, website, whatever. Share that, and then, we'll close out.
So the first question, before I share, was
What is one message about joy, leadership, or personal growth that you hope every professional remembers?
yeah, that your job is to take care of yourself. Your joy is your job, right? And in order to develop that, you have to learn to lead and love yourself first.
Mm,
So you could go out to the world and put whatever you have to offer, all those offerings that you're already giving, you're probably already giving, you'll be able to do that from a full cup. And you'll notice a difference in your success rate, your money,
mm,
and how you overcome challenges and just your overall progress. And then you'll be ready to share it with others.
yes,
Because once you develop this with yourself, other people will notice it. And they're like, man, I wonder what she's doing.
yes,
Can you tell me how you got there? And so if we develop ourselves and then it's contagious. We pass
mm,
that on to someone else, and then that person passes it on to someone else. We begin to cultivate this world of more joyful people,
yes. Love,
more
love,
pleasantry.
love it. Love it, love it, love it. And um, I think if we spread that, like you
Yeah.
say, spread that joy around, I think things will begin to change. Because you ever been in a food line or walking on the street and you see someone that's kind of pouting or they have their head down or whatever, but if you smile at them,
Yes.
it changed their whole dynamic
Whole
on.
thing. And all you did was smile. All you did was smile, right? Yeah. But this, you don't build yourself in the breakdown. You can build, remember I was saying breaking down and building myself, breaking. It gives up, if you always breaking all the way down without the joy, in despair, it like just feeling really destitute, you can build yourself back up, but it's not true building. You're actually just trying to get yourself back to back to the original state. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't build in the breakdown. You actually just, you have to practice the things ongoing. So when the breakdown happens, which it will, because we lose in life. We lose people, we lose relationships, we lose friends, we lose money. We lose in life. That's just the way life is, right? So you build yourself in the good times, right? And you build yourself when things are even killed. And then when the breakdown does happen, you have something to pull from. You got that joy practice. You got
Yeah.
that way to build, to pour into yourself, and you're not starting from scratch.
Wow. That's it. When we pour into ourselves, what happened? We could pour out to
Yeah.
others. Oh my God. That like I said, I went to an event today, and those are some of the things that they were highlighting for women's, because this is Women National Month, right?
Yeah.
And so it is just great, and I'm hoping to portray that on Friday at our event as well.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, again, Morgan, for
Thank
sharing
you.
your
Thank you.
voice, your wisdom, your work, and with our
Absolutely.
community. And to everyone that's watching, thank you for being part of Lagniappe Live with Helena, the Business Spotlight, where we highlight voices of growth, stories of impact, and leaders who are truly making a difference. Hint, hint.
And they can find me on Instagram at Morgan underscore in motion. My page is all about joy, cultivated joy, and showing you how you can do the same. I also am the host of the People Power Project podcast. It's a workplace podcast focused on building better workplaces, inspiring the leader in you. You can find me on YouTube there at the People Power Project, and People Power Project podcast, and then on TikTok, the People Power Project.
Wow. Pup, 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 pup.
Yep. Those P's, but
Yeah,
you won't forget it. You
right.
will not forget
What
it.
was that little saying we would do when we was in grade school? Peter Piper.
Yes. People, peep, peep. I don't remember how to say
Right,
it.
right out of either. But guys, look, if today's conversation spoke to you, do keep do not keep it to yourself. Or I'm not going to even use the negative. Remember to share it, like it, and subscribe to WNC Lagniappe so you'll never miss a moment. Because when we come together, everyone wins, right, Morgan?
That's right.
All right. So I'm Helena Richardson. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, stay empowered, stay connected, and keep building with purpose. So give me a minute. I'm going to close out. Look, here we go again. Okay, there it is. Look, I make mistakes too in technology, right?
Yes, it's all right. We all making mistakes. Don't nobody know what they doing.
That's right.
We
For
all
spending
just
time
trying
with
to
us on
figure it
Lagniappe
out.
Live
Yeah.
with Helena, the Business Spotlight. We go live Wednesdays at noon, and we'd love for you to meet us there. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube so you never miss a spotlight, and join our Facebook community, where the conversation continues, connections are made, and support shows up in real time. If today's conversation resonated with you, we'd love to stay connected. Please share it with someone who needs to hear it, or come back and watch the replay. This is a community, and there's always room for you here. Until next time, keep showing up, standing out, and doing what you do best.
Okay. I want to make sure we've stopped that live. Okay, so that was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I hope you too enjoyed it, and your audience or the people in your arena will enjoy it too.
Yeah.
We do this, or I hope to do it every Wednesday. And if not, I'll just do a pre-recording of another session that
Okay.
we've had. So, please share it. Um, let others know about it. And, if you have any comments or any way that we can make this better, please let me know.
Sure, I will. I look forward to continue working with you. I should be able to come Friday. I think I'm gonna be in town on
Mhm.
Friday. So hopefully, and is that expectation again?
Yes, it is.
That's your normal place?
Right,
Okay.
because we started out at Olive Garden on Broad Street, but and believe it or not, we started out with 7 people. I was the seventh one. And we just been growing these past 2 years, and we
That's
needed more
excellent.
space. Yeah, we needed more space. And just every week, and every month we have someone new. So it's like, wow, I didn't know that. I know Virginia is small in essence, but it's big in terms of how many people that we not only reach, but that we meet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we usually get someone every month. We get maybe about 3 4 new people that come,
That's
and so it's getting out there. I would love if I could just bottle up everyone to give them some space, or give to be able to promote them. I'm a connector, and I love
yeah.
being able to do that. And once again, Morgan, I really, really appreciate you. You did an awesome job, man. It was
Thank
so encouraging for me. I'm so full. I think I want to go and maybe run, before I can get, but I think I need to get up and run, because I mean, I was feeling a little sluggish this
Mm-hmm.
morning,
Mm-hmm.
but I am so full off of you guys, and your presentation. I'm just like, man.
Thank you so much. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to share. I look for more opportunities because that's really what I want to do is to
Mhm,
continue to share. Morgan Carey Consulting Solutions started out as a HR consultant firm
mhm,
because
mhm,
I am a trained professional human resources professional,
mhm,
and I love doing human resources. But what I realized in this process is that my passion is the people. That's why I went into human resources because I want to be a resource to the organization's people, right? But along with that is policy, procedure, rules, and I like those things. But
mhm,
my passion of it all is actually helping and developing the people, which
mhm.
is how the other arm of Morgan Carey Consulting Solutions was born, which is the people development part and developing people from what? Their place of joy. And I think joy
Yeah.
is the foundation of all the things that you need to develop people into, or that you can develop people into.
It
Yeah.
is, and I think a lot of times, Morgan, people get into careers that make money, but they're not satisfied. They're not
Right.
happy. They don't want to go to work, but they want to get paid. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, like you say, if they start with joy and start, practicing those affirmations,
Yeah.
that's something that we do. Although my daughter is in Illinois, but even when my grandbabies would come here during the summer, we did affirmations. There was the alphabet affirmations, and
Mm-hmm.
we will when we sitting outside out on we have a little picnic bench in my yard, and when we're sitting there, we're saying positive things to just amplify. And I think even as a kid, if we had that, we would be
Yeah.
powerful. You know what I'm
Yeah. So
saying?
powerful.
But it's okay, even as
As
adults, and as
adults.
we get older, we can learn, right?
And keep learning. You never
Yes,
stop learning. It's
never
like
stop
you
learning.
never stop learning. It's like a constant study of finding new things out, right?
Hmm.
Constantly. That's my goal. That's one of my
Yes,
objectives. It's like see how much I can learn in this lifetime. I mean, the time gonna pass anyway, so let's see how much I can do.
yes. Well, look, I would love for you to, if I did send out a survey. I don't know. Did you see the survey that I sent?
Did you email it to me?
Yes, it should have been. You should have gotten. Have you gotten any emails from
Oh
me?
yes, I'm getting your emails. I responded to a couple of them to let you know
Okay.
I was gonna be on today,
Yeah, the one. Well, not. for the live, but concerning like
Oh, yes, I get those too.
okay, good, good, good. Because we have a survey and we're trying to make things better for WNC Lagniappe. So if
Mm.
you have any
Yep,
suggestions,
I
or
got it.
if you want to become part of, to help us grow this dynamic, because I
Hmm.
think it's very, not because we put it together, but I think it's very unique.
Yeah.
I got, I wasn't a fan of the, just passing out the business cards. And I think that's why in the beginning I would not say who I was. And it wasn't that I didn't want to, it was just that I didn't want that same rhetoric of, shouting who you are, trying to get leads, trying to, the way you get leads is by building
Relationship.
relationship.
Yes. That's exactly right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, so I'll do the survey and I'd love to maybe talk about becoming more about, more a part of the organization and see where I
Mhm.
could contribute.
Yes, please. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your time. And hopefully, I'll see you on Friday.
Yes, yes, yes.
You should have gotten an email about who's going to be talking and so forth.
Mhm.
The young lady that does the prayer, she won't be able to be with us. So I'm really thinking. God keeps saying, "Well, why don't you just pray?" But like I said, I always wanting to promote others. So
Yeah,
be looking for, or wherever God's lead me or put me, then I'll do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All
Okay,
right,
Helena,
Morgan.
well, you
Thank you
have a
so
good rest of
much.
your day, and
You
hopefully I'll
too.
be able to see you on Friday.
All right. Thank you, dear. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye
You
bye.
too.